Hi everybody, and welcome to yet another student-produced Reading Through History knockoff video, with this one describing the search for gold in America from 1492 to 1855. My name is Madison Lee, and I am here today with Amanda Lopez, both of us juniors and currently enrolled in Mr. Peter Bricconi's 2020 San Marino High School AP US History course.
We're here today to tell you about three of the more important events associated with the search for gold in America from 1492 to 1877. First, the story of the Spanish colonial search for gold in America starting in 1492. Second, the first discovery of gold in California in 1842. And last but not least, the story of the California Gold Rush, which began in 1848.
The search for gold in America began in 1492, or when Christopher Columbus sailed from Europe and landed in the Caribbean. Once the Europeans discovered gold in the New World, it became so important that their justification for occupying the continent orbited around three incentives: glory, God, and gold. The Spanish primarily searched for gold in the Caribbean, present-day Mexico, and western portion of present-day United States. This in part brought about the Spanish Encomienda System.
The Incommanda System was a system in which the Spanish crown would grant Spaniards portions of land. This meant that the natives who lived on the acquired land were forced to do one of two things: either pay for their stay or work for it. And since practically none of the natives had Spanish currency to pay with, the majority were left with the latter option.
Thus, the Spaniards exploited the natives as laborers to work at mines, resulting in the natives being treated as inferiors.
Another short-term effect of the Spanish search for gold in the Americas and the subsequent Encomienda system was the sharp decline of native populations due to harsh treatment, disease, and starvation.
One of the long-term effects was the replacement of Native American workers with African slaves, an injustice still felt today.
On to our next event, the first documented discovery of gold in California. It happened on March 9, 1842, the story of the miner Francisco Lopez. As we said before, he was amongst the first to ever find gold in the West, and his discovery is the most thoroughly documented in all of Southern California.
His wife requested that he collect some onions for her from the nearby Placerita Canyon, and while pulling up the onions from the ground, he found some yellow clumps in the roots. Upon further inspection, he determined that the clumps were gold. As the most documented discovery of gold, his story gives us amazing insight into the mindsets of prospectors during the gold rush and the success that some found. The next big search for gold, the famous California Gold Rush, began when Samuel Brennan, a San Francisco newspaper publisher, announced James Marshall's discovery of gold in a California river, triggering westward migration and significant change, especially in terms of the state of California and many of its cities, San Francisco, for example.
Although San Francisco was a tiny city, its population quickly boomed, with prospectors from Latin America, Europe, Australia, and China hoping to get rich off of gold. They arrived either by sea, after sailing around the southern tip of South America, or by land, where they usually followed the California Trail. They faced many hardships just to get to California, such as shipwreck, typhoid fever, and cholera. The miners are now known as the 49ers because most people traveled to California in 1849.
Despite the early findings of gold in the rivers, miners were lucky to find even a little bit of gold. These prospectors usually lived in bad conditions, with ratty clothes and in tents.
One of the short-term effects of the gold rush was, of course, the enormous increase in population in the West. Even though many miners ended up returning home, most remained and built homes for themselves, which led to the creation of towns and cities. This boosted government development and created new opportunities for trade, transportation, and commerce.
So the gold rush fundamentally changed the way society functioned in the mid-1800s. It eventually stimulated the global economy because of the newfound high demand in products.
It allowed the United States to complete its expansion westward and consolidate its control in North America, and eventually led to the creation of more Western states, including California, which is still remembered for the gold rush and is now perceived as a place of opportunity and new beginnings, much like America itself.
But how far does America's opportunity really extend? Is it a place of opportunity at all if it can't provide opportunity for all? Well, when working on this project, there were several things that Amanda and I took away, more than just information, about how the search for gold shaped America. And we would like all of you to consider that when it comes to questions of America's opportunity, it's never as simple as a yes or a no.
Yes, the Europeans found opportunities for a seemingly endless source of wealth. However, exploitation left the natives with none. Yes, the California gold rush gave prospectors the chance to find riches, but many found nothing on the West Coast excepting struggle. Furthermore, the distribution of opportunities amongst different races and ethnicities was nowhere near equal, providing far more opportunity to those who were white over anyone else.
So it really depends on who you were when it came to the opportunities America gave you. And the effects of this undoubtedly spills into our society today. Something many of you may not have noticed is that even when we teach this history, we are still offering unequal opportunities to the people of the past. Take, for example, our second story, Francisco Lopez, the first to find gold in California and the most thoroughly documented find. However, we never hear his name in any lesson we are taught.
Plus, Lopez's discovery relates to my APUSH class specifically, for his find is the largest closest to the city of San Marino. And frankly, Madison and I think my teacher should teach this story to his future students, given its relevance, applicability, and relatability to our city. As a matter of fact, Lopez's discovery was found in present-day Los Angeles County, near the city of Santa Clarita. And therefore, we believe that all APUSH teachers in Los Angeles County should reference Lopez's story in their lessons as well, not only because it is relevant to our county, state, and society, not only because it was the first discovery of gold in SoCal and is the most thoroughly documented, but also in order to recognize the disproportionate opportunities of the past and today, and begin to make amends for this mistake. Sure, we may be nearly 2 centuries late, but now is far better than never.